Hi, my name's Becca and I'm doing a really quick video today about premature ovarian failure and my experiences with it. The reason I'm doing this is because as soon as I got my diagnosis a couple of, 6 months ago now, I went online and I tried to find out a little bit more information about it from people who'd had their own experiences, and I found it hard, basically. There wasn't really too much on there. So hopefully this helps some other people and then it reaches some people, then I'll be very happy. Okay, so if I keep looking down, I've just got a little list of pointers of things that I'm looking at. So premature ovarian failure, what it is it's basically when your ovaries fail before the age of the natural menopause. So anywhere before 45, basically, if you go through the menopause or your periods stop and they don't know why, it's premature ovarian failure. It's essentially premature menopause. They just give it a different name, I think, probably to make people feel less weird. Now, it affects about 1% of women, so it's not really as rare as you think it might be. And symptoms can include things like mood swings, lack of sex drive, hot flashes, vaginal dryness and painful sex, and obviously the main one, which is how most people even get their diagnosis, is no periods. Your periods will stop or start becoming really irregular and very strange. Now, obviously, it's the reason, you when you go through menopause, you stop getting estrogen in your body. You need this hormone for your bone strength. So by going through an early menopause, it means you're at a much higher risk of osteoporosis, and you're also at a much higher risk of things like cardiovascular disease and dementia when you get older, and Alzheimer's as well. So it's not too great, but it's not life-threatening, okay? And of course, the main one is you cannot have children, not naturally. I would say never, because I have read some cases about people who've had premature ovarian failure and then randomly fell pregnant. So it can happen. It's just very rare that you're going to naturally be able to conceive children. Now, I'll talk a little bit about my diagnosis and my experience. I don't know if it's like this for other people, but I had to go to doctors about 3 or 4 times over the course of 4 years before I got the diagnosis. And the reason it took so long is because they never offered me the FSH blood test, which is the follicle stimulating hormone blood test. Now, this blood test can tell you straight away if you've gone through menopause, if you're having premature ovarian failure. It's just that blood test. So if you're having symptoms and you're worried, ask them to do this. So finally, at the age of 24, about 6 months ago, first went to doctors about it when I was 19. So 5 years, well, maybe 6 years actually, because I was nearly 25, which I am now. So after years of trying to find out what was going on, I was told by the doctor that I had the hormone levels of a post-menopausal woman. Now, obviously, that's a very upsetting and scary thing to be told, and it was very hard for me, and it still is hard for me. I'm still getting my head around it, and it's all very new and just a bit, like, nuts. So what happened with me, I got my diagnosis at the doctor's. I wasn't really diagnosed, I was just told this is what your hormones are not normal for your age. I was then referred to an endocrinologist, which is somebody who specialises in production of hormones and glands, basically. So they also deal with things like diabetes, which I found weird, sitting in the diabetes department of the hospital with my menopause, basically. It was very weird. Yeah, so once I saw my endocrinologist, I was then, my future fertility was discussed, which I was told, without an egg donor, I'm not going to be able to have children. I can carry a child, I just have no eggs. So it's not really technically my child because it's a donated egg, but obviously I will see that child as my own when I have it. So, and I've got a fantastic sister who has already said 100% when the time comes, she will do that for me. She will donate her eggs, which is just absolutely amazing. I would never have asked her to do it. And the fact that she offered is just incredible, and I owe a lot to her. So I'm very lucky to have such a fantastic sister. Now, as well as that, obviously, I went to endocrinologist. I also had a bone density scan done, which revealed that my bones were very frail and at the pre-osteoporosis stage. Now, like I touched on before, you need estrogen in your body to keep your bones strong and healthy. So mine are low, especially in my back. My hip's not too bad, but my back is pretty damn low. But my doctor has told me, you know, as long as I keep up with my HRT over the next few years, they can pretty much reverse most of the damage that was done for those 4 or 5 years when I didn't have any estrogen, which is fantastic. So, you know, modern medicine, can't fault it, can you? But we'll just see how it goes. Now, I'm going to go through what I'm actually on treatment-wise, because there's so many different sorts of HRT and stuff like that you can take. You don't actually have to take it, but if you've gone through premature ovarian failure, you know, you're at such greater risk of just bad things for your body, because obviously you've got, you know, you've got until the age when you go through your normal menopause of not having those hormones, whereas most women, they have those hormones up until the age of 50. So, you know, it is, obviously it's just discuss it with your doctor, because I'm not going to sit here and advise you about HRT, because all I know is what I'm taking. So I take Cystine. I always thought it said Cystine, but it actually says Cystine. Everil Sequi Cystine. I do 2 patches, which I wear for twice, not 2 patches I wear at the same time. So I have the first patch, which I wear for 2 weeks of the month, the first 2 weeks of the month, which is Cystine 50. And this has got my estrogen in it. I have to wear it somewhere between my hip and the top of my thigh. You can't wear it too high up in your body, because it does increase your chance of breast cancer, which is worrying. Again, your doctor will go through the risks and benefits of you having HRT. Oh, bear with me, there we go. So don't freak out about that if it's right for you. If they thought it was that bad, obviously they wouldn't be prescribing it, but again, talk to your doctor about it if you've got worries. So yes, this is my estrogen patch, which I wear for 2 days a week. No, 2 days. I change it twice a week, and I wear it for 2 weeks. And then for the second half of the month, I go to my I can never say it, progesterone, not testosterone, we can do a P, but it's like testosterone patch, which again I wear for 2 weeks, and I rotate it. So I do that every month, and I've now been on it for about 2 months, and I'm finding it pretty good. My symptoms have subsided. I haven't had any hot flashes anymore. The only thing is I am moody as hell. My mood swings have been off the charts, and I haven't been a fan of that, I have to say. I like being calm and chill kind of girl. So I keep looking over there, I keep thinking someone's at the window. So yeah, but my doctor has advised me that that will all pan out. You know, it just takes a little bit of time. So we'll just see how that goes. So I also am on a different sort of HRT. So I do 2 types of HRT. And this is because of something that's quite personal to me, and I do feel a little bit weird talking about it, but I'm going to anyway, because there's no point saying this. One of the things that can happen when you've had premature ovarian failure is, or just moving from the menopause in general, you can, because you need those hormones in your vaginal area to keep you, you know, lubricated and stuff like that, sex can start to really hurt, and it really hurts. Like, it's horrible. It's so sore, dry and tight, and it's just rank. I've been bleeding afterwards. It's put me off having sex, and I always used to have, you know, have a healthy sex life. So I did go to the doctors about that as well, and I've got something called Vagifem. Lovely name, isn't it? You know, what Vagifem? What's that for? Vagi and fem. That's for a girl. Boys don't take that. But basically, it's estrogen that goes directly into your. It looks weird. I'll explain it in a minute. That you put, like a potassium, you put it inside your vagina. So if you have a look here, you see that little white bit at the end? That's the actual pill, and this is just an applicator. So it's kind of like when you have a tampon and you use it with an applicator. You put this inside, press that bit there, the pill comes out, it's in your vagina. I have to do this every every day for 2 weeks. I've been doing it for about a week now, and then twice a week thereon after. So it's kind of good. So I'll just do it at the same time as I change my patch. I change them twice a week. I've been on that for about 5 days now, and I've actually noticed quite a big difference. So that's working, which I'm really chuffed about as well. Now, obviously, I'm just talking about the actual physical effects of it, but there's a hell of a lot more to it than that. Emotionally, it is hard, and it's been a hard thing to go through. I can talk about it openly now and seem kind of relaxed like I am now, but because I'm just used to it now. But it's a hard thing. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my life. You grieve for the loss of your fertility. You feel, or I felt like a freak, like a weirdo, like, oh, I'm old before my time. Just all this kind of stuff that just made me feel so, you know, so just weird and horrible. And what I would say to you is, if you are taking it really hard, do see your doctor, because they can get you some counselling. I had a little bit of counselling. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was actually signed off work for a couple of weeks because I took it really hard, and I was very depressed about what was happening to me. So just talk to people about it, talk to your doctor. That's what they're there for. They can get you counselling, they can help you, okay? And obviously even now it's still hard. It was only 6 months ago I got the diagnosis. This is something that's going to affect me for my whole life. It's only going to get harder when I decide I want to have children, but I try and not think about that too much now, because what's the point, you know? Like, I can't sit there and beat myself about something that's happening in the future. So I just try and live in the present. That's what I'm trying to do. Obviously, if you get the diagnosis when you're trying to have children, I can understand that would be even more devastating, because, of course. But everyone goes through things differently. I mean, I took it pretty hard. I'm okay now. I still get shitty days about it, though, where I just think, why is this happening to me? But what can you do, you know? You just try and look positively at things, and I just think, well, I'm on treatment now and things will get better for me. Now, if you know somebody that's going through this as well, and I really think I should say this, because a lot of people have been a little bit insensitive, and I'm not trying to be a cow, because I know, obviously, I think it's a hard thing for people to hear about and to deal with. They don't know, do they? Like, it's until you go through something like this, infertility, or, you know, loss of womanhood and all things like that, you don't know what it's like. So I'm not judging people, but when you know, if somebody, one of your friends or family member tells you about it, don't go, oh well, at least you don't have to worry about periods anymore. That's not very sensitive. I'd rather have periods and be able to have children than not. So do just bear that in mind. It's pretty damn insensitive, to be honest. I know you might not think it. You probably think you're being reassuring. It isn't, okay? And don't also go, oh, well, obviously you can always adopt, or, oh, well, you know, a friend of mine had a similar thing and they managed to get pregnant the first time on IVF and things like that. We know. We will have gone through options in our head. We will have thought about it. We don't need fertility advice from other people unless it's a fertility expert. So just be sensitive and try not to say things like that, because I know you think it helps, but it doesn't. It just makes me feel, I find it a bit patronising, to be honest. I do appreciate that unless you've been through it, it is hard to understand. So that's why I would never, I always, you know, just bite my tongue. I would never be like, oh, fuck off, fuck you, and go on a mad rant about it, because it's not their fault. But just bear in mind, if you're saying anything, you know, if you're trying to comfort someone, just think about what you're saying, because sometimes things can make it a little bit worse, okay? And yeah, so I think that's everything. I think I kind of covered everything. Now, obviously, if this is something that affects you and that you're going through, then please do comment below, because it would be really great to talk to other people about it. And I'd love to, you know, discuss things and have experiences, and we can give each other support and things like that, and even share advice. And, you know, it'd just be great to know some other people or chat to some other people that are going through a similar type thing. And because, as they say, sharing is caring and all that. bit of cheese for you there. And also, if you've come across this video because you've recently got diagnosed yourself, one place I would love to refer you to is the Daisy Network, which is a charity that specialises in research and support for people who have gone through premature ovarian failure or who are going through it. It's a fantastic resource. Please check out their website. I will link it below. And yeah, if you found this video helpful, or if this is something that has happened to you, please share, like and comment. Thank you very much for watching.